Jessica.
Hello, Jessica. Hello, Noe.
They are as talkative as my class is. My business law. I'm dying to see a student in the flesh. Ah, she is. I know. Good to see you.
Hi, Cam.
How's it going? You hanging in there?
Yeah, going good. Sorry, I'm like, my video was like not working. It was like being.
Excuses. It is good to see you, though.
Hello.
Did you want me to go ahead and start, Rick, or do you want to?
Well, it's only 5:28. We actually have a couple more minutes, so.
We can warm up the audience.
Yeah, well, I'll get a few more to come in.
But Kim says she wants to warm the audience. She wants to sing. Ready, go.
Go ahead. You can warm up. Start with your jokes, Kim. Go ahead.
You don't want me to warm. Well, I was wondering if we were going to have food tonight, Rick. You hosted, so.
Yeah, I have right here.
There's your joke. Okay. That's as good as it gets with me.
Yeah.
Right now? Am I pronouncing that right? Is it Noe?
No, I'm Jamie. But
Why do you have Noe Loya?
You remember when I told you that
yeah.
In my religious they use this for Zoom, and I'm the one who has the account. So he's like the group leader of our group, so he uses my account. And I don't know. I'm like I usually can change my name, but I don't know why it's not letting me right now.
I can let you do
how do you pronounce it though?
Noel. Like it's like no way. There we go. Noe.
Noe.
Yeah.
I have a daughter named Noel.
I have to type it in. What should I put in?
No, I'm doing it right now, Rick.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're doing it? Okay.
Yeah, Jamie Duran.
My daughter's name is Noel. I didn't realize. Is that a Spanish equivalent?
Yeah, well, it's like it's a name in the Bible, Noah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, more like that.
Yeah. But yeah, he uses my account because I'm the one who like pays for it every month, so he can use it and they can
watch out for that.
Mm-hmm. That's so
no.
nice. She pays for it and lets him use it.
Right?
It is like that. Yes. No. And so yeah. Well, yeah, and I use it for work and stuff, so it's easy.
Where are you working these days?
Just this week we're able to go back to work, but just like the office part. So but a lot of us are working from home, so that's why.
Did that go okay for you?
Jessica and Michelle, you're unmuted, but you have to unmute yourself, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. It's nice to put a face to Professor Manzano.
Nice, kind of scary.
Yeah, well, you know.
It's cool.
What's really weird is that he has a law library in his house.
Really?
Why not? You know, at least I don't have the White House behind me. I mean, the Oval Office like
Take one of those books off the shelf, Rick.
They're too far back.
Oh my God. Miss Williamson, I haven't seen her. I had last time I had a class with you was like a year.
1942. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
Jessica.
no.
There's Jessica.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hello.
Oh, Arlie's here now.
1947, is that when you started teaching, Kai?
Is that 1942? No.
1942.
That's my way of saying a long time ago.
Well, I date myself by talking about my first cell phone.
The big pack with the big huge battery.
The battery weighed 6 pounds.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
I remember that.
What year did you start teaching, Rick?
34 years ago, whatever that is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Year after I was
not even 34 years old.
Gee. Your daughter's older than me, so don't tell me that. No. Yeah, that's when your kids start being old enough to be some of your students' parents. Yeah. So how's everybody doing?
Good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Amy, Jessica, Michelle, and Aurelie, do either of you work in a law office right now? I forget.
I do. I work at Shook.
And how is that going? How's the legal profession in real life?
It's been somewhat challenging working from home just because the workflow kind of slowed down
Okay.
a little bit. But I mean,
Sorry, I'm having some bad Wi-Fi connection right now. What was that?
I was just saying that I work at Shook, and the work has slowed down a little longer that the social distancing has gone on. I'm sure it'll snap back up. We're always smoking busy.
And what kind of law?
General business litigation.
Oh, yeah.
will.
You'll be busy.
Yeah. I think there'll probably be some litigation, landlord, tenant, creditor, debtor, foreclosure work.
I'm on the listserv for the Paralegal Educators Association, and that's one of the topics was today. And all across the country, everybody was saying, well, one of the things I've been doing is checking the job boards.
Oh, wow.
And they said, for attorneys, it's way down. And for paralegals, there are actually many more positions than there were 2 months ago.
Interesting.
And the reason and they talk about back in the recession 10, 15 years ago, when law firms sort of remade themselves, and that's when the paralegal profession really took off, is because what happened then again, they laid off a lot of the mid-level attorneys because they were having to pay them too much.
Yeah.
And they started hiring the paralegals. And then when the economy came back, the insurance companies and all said, no, we like the work your paralegals are doing because they don't cost us as much. And that's why, so they're thinking just, with the 15, 20 people that were in the discussion, that's what they're thinking. And they're all over the country, New York, Tennessee, Texas, in the Midwest, and out here in a bunch in California. So, yeah.
That's a good segue, Rick. I'm
So
talking
why don't
about
you talk about
paralegals not being as expensive as attorneys in the job market, because that's my goal to change, and hopefully Kai will support me on this. But I want our paralegals to go out there and find high-paying jobs and be able to achieve all those things that we go to college for. Being able to buy a house, being able to send your kids away for vacations, and pay for college, all those sorts of things. So that's why I'm super excited that I get to coordinate our work experience program. And then an important part of that, in addition to the stuff we do with OCPA or with OCPA, is the tech event that we have coming up this next Saturday. I feel like both of those things are very important to being able to get out in the job market and make good money and ask for good money. So when it comes to work experience, obviously, the coronavirus has required us to change things up a little bit, but I want to assure our students that Santa Ana College is looking to do that. I've started to create a list of topics from community legal aid, and I'm looking for other organizations on remote research projects that students can do. I also am looking to tap into some resources and create some remote e-discovery projects where Santa Ana College students could perhaps be on a level 1 review team.
That's nice.
In the public interest. Sometimes public interest firms will put together projects that work in that way. In addition to accommodating all the normal work experience opportunities, like those of you who will be returning to work, you'll find that we can manage to get you work experience credit regardless. So we're adapting and overcoming what the state tells us to do, but I feel reasonably confident that the work experience programs at Santa Ana College, which are really successful, will continue, and we'll be able to support our students, and students will be able to use those experiences to get jobs, to build their resume and so forth. And then on the topic of the tech event, this coming Saturday, which is May 2nd, and the following Saturday in June 6th, from 9 to about 12:30, Santa Ana College, in conjunction with the Orange County Paralegal Association, which is Kai's organization, and the California Lawyers Association, we will be offering 3 hours or 3 speakers worth of technical topics for the community. And these are pretty high level. They're understandable, but quality presentations. And I say quality because we also offer practicing attorneys the opportunity to get continuing legal education from them. That's why we do it as that's why we invited in CLA, California Lawyers Association, and OCPA. But it's quality legal topics at a variety of levels for 2 Saturday mornings. And right, we know we're not doing anything on Saturdays anymore. We're hunkered down in the house. We might as well be learning. And this Saturday, we will hear speakers talking about coordinating efforts between lawyers and technical team members in a litigation context. I think of it kind of as an information governance topic. We'll hear from 2 paralegals on that topic. We'll also hear from a couple of paralegals giving us 30 tech tips in 60 minutes. And then we'll hear from a litigation team lead from Munger, Tolles, Olson, Shannon Bales, and he will talk to us about the importance of tech skills in the paralegal workplace. So 3, I think, pretty on point subjects. And then the following tech event, the June 6th event, will be on the topics. We have a judge who's going to come and talk about a perspective from the bench. We have a attorney who will come in and talk about some of the new privacy requirements in tech, which is important for paralegals to know, because this is the stuff you kind of scare your boss with. When you say, no, look, we have to follow these rules. You have to be paying for this stuff. We can't just be half-baked approach to security, because it's going to start to cost us. And I always say the worst thing you have to do is tell a client you've screwed up. And that's what you have to do sometimes if you're not careful about confidentiality and security in a technical environment. So that's an example of a couple of our presentations coming up. And then of course, Kai will be on this Saturday to talk about OCPA and what they can do for students to help advance your career. So all of these events are free to students. And I encourage students, if they are in the legal environment, to go ahead and share this information with their supervisors, because the CLE is actually fairly inexpensive for attorneys. 6 hours for $60. And if nothing else, you get to show your boss something good in the community that they can participate in. Your boss starts to associate with you with the good tips and stuff like that. But you should, as a Santa Ana College student, in your inbox right now, or especially if you have me as an instructor, you should be getting the sign-in information for these opportunities. I know Professor Manzano is going to post them, but Professor Robinson and Williamson also have the links. So they should be out there and available to you. So grab a cup of coffee, get yourself a donut, sign in on Saturday morning. And then this summer and next fall, consider doing work experience. And you will get to those higher paychecks. Just ask Kai. All I got. But good to see you all.
Good to see you.
Yeah. That's all I got, Rick.
Great.
I got to go to class.
Well, enjoy.
Go
Talk to you
teach the
probably
youth of
Monday.
America.
Look at this.
Yeah. We'll look at the fall schedule again real real close again tomorrow, just to make sure we like what they put.
Thanks, Rick. And I'm sorry I can't stay on longer, guys.
No, appreciate it.
But stay with us, students, okay? That's a tough time. We really, really care about you. So don't hesitate and pass the word. If you're a legal studies student, talk to your instructors. We can all get through this. Rick may not, but we will.
Bye.
Thanks, Kim.
You.
Appreciate it very much.
And I'll see you in a little bit.
All right, Kai, you were going
Yeah, I want to,
about the OCPA.
yeah, I want to share my screen. Let's see if you guys can, did you change my, or do you see any part of my screen?
Yes, your screen just popped up.
But
You're a
not-
co-host, so I see your legal career resource.
Perfect, okay. So you see these, so actually, I guess let me see, I want to talk to you just in general about all kinds of kind of job things and stuff, just kind of keep you guys motivated on what is going on. So and I actually have my hand on the pulse of a lot of things that's going on with the industry and jobs in particular for paralegals. So as you can see here, this is from Robert Half. You guys heard of that particular agency, Robert Half?
Mhm.
And what it is they have this document that they've given me, and it's and they do actually have a lot of temp positions available. And as you can see, here's the different roles, and you can see right here, junior paralegals, and again, as you can see, there are law clerks and legal secretaries and receptionists and a little bit of everything. But what it is Robert Half, they want to definitely be there for paralegals in general, paralegal students that are trying to get themselves in a profession. So this particular document that I have here, I just want you to know that it is available, whether you want to be a temp or not, there's our opportunities that are available to you. And here particular is one of them. This is the 2020 salary survey. You guys can see that on the screen, right?
Right.
And this is the legal salary survey for 2020, and we're 4 or 5 months into 2020, so this is really good information. So I want to bring you to a couple of particular pages, and I can make this definitely available to whoever wants to have it, but I wanted you guys to see, let's see, what page is this? Page 14. No, let's go back this way. 13. So as you can see here, it talks about different areas of expertise, and on here under legal support, paralegals are legal support to the attorneys. And as you can see, a case assistant, or basically a junior level paralegal, 0 to 2 years experience, and they're considered in the 25 percentile, and they actually make about 40K. And these are numbers, again, these are salary surveys that are conducted, and these numbers are true, really relevant numbers. They're definitely relevant numbers, and they're right on point with what, and I totally agree with the numbers that they have as far as the salaries that they have. This 40K. What do you guys think of that number? Do you think that's a good number for a starting paralegal in the industry? Someone starting junior, don't have much law firm experience. Think about it. It's like, you can't just leave this program with your certificate, think you're going to make 100K. That's not the case. Right. But you definitely will be making between 40 and 50K as a junior paralegal with the numbers of between 0 to 2 years of experience. So, and that number is on point, and I totally agree. And as you can see with the percentile, that's what your level is. What if you in the 95 percentile? And again, these are just kind of like starting salary. These are starting salary. This is not saying where you would be. This is just starting. Because as you can see, a senior level or paralegal manager, they're well over 100K. So if you look at those numbers, you see what is possible for you. Okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. And here is even more information with respect to that. I man the job bank for the Orange County Paralegal Association, which I'm going to talk to you about in a minute. I actually man the job bank. And with respect to the job bank, yes, there's not a lot going on, but this is just an example of what I'm talking about. This particular person at an in-house corporate legal department reached out to me and wanted me to post this particular job on our job bank. And it's for an actual corporation, 33 years in the franchise food business, And you can see this is for a senior level type of paralegal, which is fine. It's not at the level that you're at, but it's for a position working at home. But here's what I really want you to see. Look, they actually put the salary that's starting at. Look at that salary.
Wow.
95K.
Kai,
Look at that.
Kai,
Yes.
can
yes.
I apply?
Absolutely. But you get my point, guys. I just want you to keep your eye on the prize, that this is things that is available to you, will be available. And just like Rick already said, and from the meeting he went to earlier, there's a lot out there for our profession. We're not dried up in any way, shape, or form, and it's only going to get better because they're looking at more so than attorneys now. So it's looking great for us. So please keep that in mind, okay? So this is a position fresh off the charts from someone that contacted me. And you can see it's a very high level, again, 95K position. But then this particular law firm, they're looking for, but what it is they're still trying to figure out how they can do this technology based with someone that's new. But they need these administrative, they need an administrative position, and they have 4 file clerk positions. Now, what I mean by that, guys, is while you're in the paralegal program, and some of you will be in it for the next 1.5 to 2 years, you want to get your foot in the into a law firm setting. You want to get your foot in the door. So these are opportunities, whether it be an administrative assistant or file clerk. This particular law firm, Brown and Streza, which is in Irvine, they're hiring, but they're still trying to wrap themselves around how they can make this work for someone new that's just coming in. They need to have to be trained. But all of the whole staff, including one of my students, he actually works at this firm right now. Everyone's working from home. So no one got laid off, no one got furloughed. And other areas that are doing really well is personal injury, intellectual property, IP, corporate, of course, is doing well, and healthcare law. So healthcare law, corporate law, intellectual property law, and personal injury. Those are areas that are going well.
We may see a downtick in personal injury because there are hardly any cars on the freeway.
I know, but I think what's going on, and again, I think why those paralegals that I know that actually work in those areas now have not been affected is because they're working on the cases that they're having their caseload as of now.
Oh, I
These
know.
are
I'm
cases,
just kidding.
yeah, but you're right. It may be a little downtick in that particular area going forward. Yeah.
If
So,
I can chime in.
Yes, absolutely. Any questions, guys? Yeah.
I do work at a personal injury firm, and it's been slower than usual, but the amount of work has not stopped because of the caseload we have.
Yeah, that's it.
I almost feel like we're busier than ever.
Interesting.
Like with phone call volume has gone down. So it's also allowing us to catch up on things it's hard to catch up with on a daily basis. So I feel like it's just as busy at a personal injury firm.
And I've heard the same thing from my colleagues that work in that area of expertise. That's why I put it on my list of areas that are pretty much still doing well. Yeah.
No, I was just kidding because I have to go to Costa Mesa every morning, and it's like it used to run at about 10, 15 miles an hour, till you got past the 5, and we get on the freeway. And because I go with my wife most of the time, and she'll sit there and go, "You do know I'm doing 80 as cars are going by us like, boom."
Wow.
Yeah.
And here's the last slide I want to show you guys. This is with respect to OCPA. And again, everything I've talked about, it's from my connections and my networking with OCPA that kind of gives me that information that I do have about what's going on in Orange County and with respect to jobs in particular. But OCPA does have a student membership. And here are all the perks of that particular membership, including all of the different meetings that, yes, we'll start having them from a Zoom or some other kind of standpoint, but these are meetings that you actually would go into, whether it be at lunchtime or after work, and all these specialty areas, whether it be litigation, you can see here, litigation, corporate, family, employment, labor. And guys, just keep in mind, once you actually get your paralegal certificate, by law, you have to have 4 hours of ethics and 4 hours of gen ed every 2 years. So that's what OCPA is in the business of. That is what our motto, and that's what we do. We educate paralegals. It's just, think about it, it's the same thing for attorneys. They have the OC Bar Association or the Bar Association, and they actually help keep their license and compliance and also help with their continuing education. We have the same thing for the Paralegal Association. So, and so what it is all these different meetings you can attend, but outside of that, for students in general, we have other types of discounts, and we also have free student section meetings where it says free, including meetings that we do, that the one that Ms. Kiff, Professor Smith was talking about. We're gonna have free, we actually do one at all the different paralegal schools, including Santa Ana. We have free specialty meetings just for students, talking about things that affect students, for students, about students. So it kind of, nothing goes over their head because it's everything in the whole meeting. And it'll be a 2 or 3 hour meeting, but it's all things students. And they get some practical applications, like you'll learn how to fill out subpoenas. We may do a subpoena workshop or something like that.
Enter your meeting ID, followed by pound.
And we also give out scholarships, and Professor Robinson or Manzano will tell you, we give out $1,000. We give $1,000 scholarship to both all the paralegal schools around Orange County, and we have the schools break it into $500. So 2 students are given $500 each for all the paralegal schools.
Followed by pound. Otherwise,
and then we have a quarterly newsletter. And then you have access to our job bank, which I was talking about, and I showed you the jobs that we have available now. And we have a mentoring program, and we have an annual salary survey. And that salary survey is akin to this salary survey, in which I was showing you here. We actually work with Robert Half, which is a legal recruiter. We work with Robert Half, Adams and Martin, and a couple of other Orange County legal recruiters to help us put our salary survey together. And it's all of the paralegals that work in Orange County, and we get all of that data and massage it, and so we'll know what's the average age of a paralegal in Orange County. Does anyone know? What's the average age of a paralegal in Orange County? Anyone know?
Probably about 40.
52.
52.
Yeah, and again, that's from our salary survey that we have that information. And of course, we know it's a female-dominated profession, just like nursing is a female, even though there's male nurses. So it's that same kind of thing. We have all of that data, that raw data from the salary surveys that we do. But one of the key things before I stop speaking that I wanted you to know about was the mentoring. You can imagine that I know colleagues in any area of law imaginable. What area are some of you guys interested in outside of you working in personal personal injury? What area are you ultimately want to go into?
This is Tom Acosta. Probably immigration law.
Okay, immigration. What about?
I was saying family law.
Family.
Criminal law.
Crim. So that's 3 different areas. You can imagine, and I'll stick with crim just as an example. I have colleagues that work at the district attorney's office in the DNA unit in sex crimes. I have colleagues that work for the municipal courts of city of Riverside and the city of Costa Mesa. So you can imagine all those colleagues. And what it is we have a database of all these colleagues from every area of law imaginable. And in the mentoring program, we will have them help you throughout your career path of becoming a paralegal. You can mentor up with that person, and they can help you find, and not help you find jobs, and kind of lead you to different leads, but they also can just help you in the profession to kind of guide you along the way. That's the mentoring that we give for OCPA. So I think it's a great organization, especially for students, to help you with that start on networking. Any questions? Additional questions?
Yes, Professor Williamson, how would we, who should we contact about that?
Well,
I'm a member.
Yeah, and matter of fact, how are you, Tom? How are you?
Good to see you. Good to see you. It took me forever to get on the site. It just kept kicking me out. So it took me 15 minutes.
So what it is you do have to be a member, first of all. So if you are a member, there is a application that you fill out. And I think if you don't have the application, I can get that to you, but it's an application you fill out, and then we will actually partner you up from what you say on your application as far as what it is you're looking for. Are you looking for, it gives you all these different things, and then we'll partner you up with the best colleague that actually is working a working paralegal in that industry, and then they can even give you an informational interview. You can meet over coffee, maybe over Zoom over coffee, but whatever. But again, they can help you along the way in your profession. And so we actually give that, and it's invaluable, very, very much so.
So what would I have to do is update my application, because I filled that out like 2 years ago when I joined.
Really? How
I'll have
about you send me what you filled out, and I'll make it happen for you.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll do that.
Yeah, send that
Thank
to
you.
me. Any other questions, guys? About jobs or what's going on in the industry, anything?
The job bank, all the jobs are posted. Is it kind of like Indeed where you just upload your resume and submit it to that?
Nope,
No?
that's not the way I do it. And I've been managing this job bank since 2008. The way in which I do, it's free for our members. It's a membership free thing. But what it is I can tell you 90% of law firms and corporations in Orange County contact me directly because I've been doing, this job bank has been up for the last 10 years. So that kind of, a lot of them are repeat customers. So they will actually send me their jobs and I upload them all. And if you remember, all you do is click on job bank within the portal, OCPA portal, and you'll be able to see it. And I update them weekly. Every Monday, I do the new updates. Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll automatically every week have access to all of the latest and greatest jobs. And believe me, there are always a huge amount of jobs, but because of what's going on, this is all we have right now. But we have a huge amount of jobs usually. I can actually even give you an example of what I'm talking about quickly. Let me show you really fast. OCPA and job listing. And here's the last one from March, the beginning of March, March 12th. And let's see, open it up.
16 pages, put it that way.
You can see that, huh? See that?
That's 16
pages. And here was administrative assistant. Here's a legal litigation paralegal, bankruptcy paralegal, estate planning.
Litigation, there you go.
All personal injury, here personal injury, litigation, all of these. We always have oodles of jobs in our job bank. But just so what's going on now, that's why we only have this little small one right now.
So as I noticed, you have links to who they would contact. They look
Absolutely.
at.
Yeah, that's what I do. I actually, at the bottom of it, I'll even tell you how stale it is. That's why I say when it was posted, and I'll actually have the link for you to go directly to that page to sign to. Yeah.
And then to become a member, you can just go on the website.
Absolutely. And you can do it automatically. Yeah. And I'm the one that mans all the students. So anything where if you become a member, you're a student, you're going to automatically be connected with me. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That's my spiel.
Ooh, I gotta go to class.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Professor Williamson?
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Kristen?
A lot of great information.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Professor, would you be able to email that document Robert Half?
Yes,
saying
absolutely. I'll send it to Professor Manzano for him to give to you guys.
I was going to ask you to do that, so that'd be great. Yeah, if you'll send us the link.
I can send you this too. I have it electronically. This whole salary
Right.
survey for 2020. Send that to you as well.
And I'll post it in the class.
Thank you.
As well as your legal career resume one, right? That other one.
I'll send them all.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Send all the
Whenever I
info.
get stuff, I put it up for you guys. So.
Perfect. All right.
Thank you.
All righty.
This was awesome. Thank you so much. I just want to say, I know I popped in a few minutes late, but Kai, that was amazing.
No
wow.
problem.
I almost wonder if you could do the same thing in my 100, my intro.
I sure can. No
It's
problem.
almost like we want to get the new people super excited to
Yes.
enter the profession and join. So maybe I'll send an email and because they meet in the day though, so I don't know if we could do, you know what I mean? I realize it's online, but I don't know if you could do something like at 10:30.
I sure can. I sure
Okay.
can. No problem. I work, but hey, we all working.
I know, right?
Is this being recorded?
Well, this is the first time that I've done a Zoom meeting besides having just Kim and Kristen in the class where I was the host. I have pushed the record button. What happens next, I don't know. I plan to post this in class.
It'll send it to you via email when it's ready.
Whoops, what just happened here? Yeah. So Tom, if you see it appear in the class with the link, then you'll know, yep, it worked. I think it's working.
Hey, it worked.
Yeah, both. I know that Kai, Kristen, and Kim had regular lecture classes, so they've been using it a lot. All mine were online, so I'm actually excited by this because I plan to start next semester in the summer. The first week having a Zoom meeting in each class, just so everybody could meet. Because students keep telling me they like to see my face. I don't know why. I think I'm ugly.
I
What
told
it
you.
does is it makes me shave, and and I haven't cut my hair in 2 months. So this is for me. I'm getting back to the 90s again. Don't want to go back to the 80s. That's when I had the,
Like,
Yeah.
send help.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a couple of those pictures in the hall, and I keep trying to take them down, but they put them back up. So the family photos, All right, Kristen was going to talk to us about the Pathway to Law School program for those of you that haven't made contact with her yet.
Oh, I almost forgot. I'm like, I was? Oh, I was.
Just briefly.
Pathway to Law School, I know a lot of students, you come into paralegal or the law in general, and you're interested maybe in being a lawyer. Sometimes students, the only thing they've heard about is paralegal. So that's why they start there. Some people are concerned about wanting to work, how am I going to live? So maybe you're thinking like a night law school program like Chapman or Southwestern. We've also had one of our adjuncts, Jesse Moreno, who worked for, I want to say like 20 years as a paralegal in workers' comp, and then went to law school at night. And now he's, got one of the, I think, the top workers' comp practices in Orange County in the area, and teaches the workers' comp class for us. So your journey, could go any number of different ways, but we have the Pathway to Law School program, and it's part of a statewide initiative to increase, the diversity of the people entering the legal profession, and specifically the attorneys. And so they did a bunch of research, to figure out what we already know, which is the best students are at the community colleges, right? Students that are diverse across all areas are at the community colleges, economic ability, racial, ethnicity, first gen language, all those different things, you're here. And so they they came to us to create these programs. And so it's a link between the community college and the law schools, but you still have to get your bachelor's degree. And there is a link there as well, but you need to get your bachelor's degree. So this program supports you to transfer and then to get some preparation. We just had an LSAT prep speaker last week, an event that we offered for students, and I think we had about 50 students attend, so that was neat. What the law school entrance exam, and we've made it so it works really well with the paralegal. You do intro to legal studies, which you guys are already taking for paralegal. The ethics class that you already have to take is required. A little bit of a unique feature is the Pathway to Law School requires an internship, but you could use that for your internship elective for paralegal. And then the business law class is required, which of course is required for paralegal too. So that's kind of what we like to think of as the legal core. So that double dips really nicely with paralegal. And then the difference for Pathway to Law School is the GE classes. So the statewide people, they really want to make sure that you're ready for that transfer, for that bachelor's degree. So it's, the basic history class, the basic political science class, the basic philosophy class, English 101, the argumentation and debate communications class. And I guess I could look at the website and give you the exact list. This is embarrassing. I'm like, I don't know. I can't remember off the head. Hold on, let me go to my website. So it's pretty much just supporting you in your basic classes. The other thing is that if you take those classes, you will earn the Pathway to Law School certificate. And again, let me share my screen here. The Pathway to Law School certificate overlays on top of any associate degree you're doing. So you could do Associates of Paralegal, you could do Associates of Paralegal and History, or Associates in a language, or, it overlays criminal justice, right? So we do have students who do CJ, Paralegal, and the Pathway to Law School. So it is a certificate. And it fits nicely with whatever else you're doing. You do want to pick something that will help you transfer to get your associate or to get your bachelor's degree. We have awesome webpage, sac.edu/pathway to law school. And we have like kind of all of our information here. So we've got the basic program brochure. I think it'll come up. And what's really cool too is, let me highlight the law schools that are part of the program. So the law schools that are part of the program are Berkeley, Davis, Irvine, UCLA, Loyola Marymount, Santa Clara, USF, USC, and hot off the press from about 2 months ago, Pepperdine. So Pepperdine Law School has now signed on, so we'll be fixing that. So that's really exciting. And those are the law schools that are, and what does that really mean? It means they're looking for the graduates of this program. They want to find you. They want to know who, you know, did you come out of this program? You know, I think Rick and myself and Professor Smith all came from a community college.
Yes.
You know, I was a Pell Grant student. You know, I went to a community college and then transferred. When I went to apply to law school, so funny, you go to these big giant law school fairs where all the admissions reps are out there and you can talk with them. And I think every person I talked to looked at me and said, "What's an associate degree?" Yeah, 100%. And this wasn't that long ago, but they were like, "What's an associate degree?" Well, you know, that's not very good, let alone they didn't know anything, you know, like Southern Utah. Okay. You know, I was just from some, you know, like from a Cal State or something, you know. And so they didn't know what an associate degree was. They kind of looked down their noses at it like, you know. So obviously I got to law school and had a great experience. But what's so awesome about this program is not only do these schools know what an associate degree is, they know who you are. Like, I meet with the admissions reps. We luckily, right, it was probably the last thing we did was have the Pathway to Law School Summit in February. The law school reps are there. You know, we get to be there. We get to hear from them, like what they're looking for. I have names and contacts that, you know, I send your information to the state, the website when you finish. So that way, you know, you'll get contacted potentially from them as well. But so they know what an associate degree is. They know like your drive and your focus, and then they're giving information back to us. You know, so having LSAT speakers, everything's a little bit in flux, but we might still have the UCI school, law school admissions dean or community outreach dean, Estuardo Ponciano, come speak to us. We've had Davis come speak to us. And it's so great for you guys to get that information. So another thing I think of, if you do start at a 4-year, you know, they have like a pre-law office and they have a pre-law advisor and they have a pre-law program and someone you can go talk to. But if you started a community college, like who do you talk to? Well, the awesome thing is that now you can talk to us, right? Like, we are your pre-law office. And so you're not missing out by not starting at the Cal State or by not starting at the UC. You still have a place you can come find out about the LSAT. Did you know there's a free LSAT class on Khan Academy? A free LSAT prep class at Khan Academy, basically developed because of Pathway to Law School said, hey, we need this. And that I think just dropped like a year ago. And then even for undergrad transfers within those UC schools, they have now added, and so if this applies to you, I'll send you some more information on this, but they've added a drop-down box where if you're applying for transfer admission and you're a Pathway to Law School student for undergrad, you can check California law, and that way they're even looking for you for undergrad admission, is what I would say. So it's not like a guarantee of admission. It's definitely not that, but they are looking for you, and they understand that who you are is more than just your GPA and your LSAT. You know, they're really looking at people as whole body. And I think that's really like a kind of a newer thing that's happening the past few years in, you know, law school admissions. So really seeing that, wow, you didn't just go to legal aid one time, but you did a whole semester volunteering. Wow, like for your internship, or you did something at the DA's office, or you've already worked at a downtown law firm. Wow, or you've been with a small lawyer, you know, a solo practitioner. You really know what it means to be a lawyer, to work. You know, you've already had paralegal experience. Like, that's impressive, you know, and it really shows like real commitment and real drive. And whether it's this program or anything, law school is hard, you know, and the kind of emotional stamina and mental energy, it's a lot. And so if you can show other people, but also show yourself that you already have that drive, it's really powerful. And, we're still sort of in the beginning few years of this, but I will say we had our first Pathway to Law School graduate get into law school. He got into Chapman and like just a month or so ago. So we'll wait and see, I think he was looking at different money, and if I need to email him. It's just been like the past few weeks. But so I know, so that's our first person to get into law school. We have had other SAC students over the years get into law school, but this is the first kind of cohort now. And then our other big group was a whole group of people that just transferred last year. So they should be seniors this year, and they're starting to apply. And we had good transfers. So I just think it's a good program that gives you exposure, like meaningful exposure, because maybe you aren't going to want to be a lawyer. Maybe you're going to do an internship and kind of go, or I'm really happy doing paralegal. It's very intellectually challenging and it's a great career, but I won't have to, not work for 3 years. And I won't have to, figure out how to pay for $150,000 in school loans, or in fees. Yeah, it's incredible. Being a paralegal is an amazing career, and maybe that's where I'm going to be at for 5 years. I mean, it's just, there's so many different options, but I love that we have this program and we really believe in it. It's not just marketing, it's really important exposure and information. And it all just supports you getting your bachelor's, it supports you getting your associates, it double dips with paralegal, with legal interpreting, and also all your GEs. So pretty much anything you need, as you can see from this GE list, for an associate's degree is what you need for Pathway to Law. And if you've already taken something like you already have a bachelor's, right? Because several of you, for sure, a lot of you in our program do, and probably on this call. If you already have your bachelor's, we can go ahead and, do the forms to use these. You don't have to retake English 101 if you already took it, right? And so, or if you took it at another community college. So that's the nice thing. And then, yeah, and we're getting some flyers redone because we'll have a new Law 121 class, a legal ethics, to kind of give you more that law focus to go along with paralegal and sort of things. So I don't know if there's any specific questions. I sort of forgot I was supposed to say anything.
You actually just answered mine. I had one with respect to if you already have a bachelor's, how does that work?
Yes.
And you already answered that.
So that was one of those things that we really fought for, because originally they weren't going to let post-bachelor students do it. But once they could no longer guarantee, I mean, this is all the nitty gritty, but they couldn't guarantee admission to law school, which I think was kind of good, because once that fell away, then they said, all right, anyone can come and do this program, post-bachelor's. Because a lot of times, I think you guys, I mean, we all know our students, you guys are here. A lot of our students are people who are so bright, like you're so driven, you're so smart, but you just don't know how to get into that new field. You don't have the family connection. You don't have the neighbor or the uncle that's a lawyer or that's already a paralegal. And so you're just looking for, I think I could do this and I'm interested in it, but I don't know how to get in. So we've had students, and I always highlight these two that I think was a year ago, 2 students, and again, all of us, Kai and Rick will know this, that one was from bachelor's from UCI and the other was bachelor's from Cal State Fullerton. So they already had their bachelor's. Awesome. One was working at Party City and one was working the night shift at 7-Eleven, right?
Wow.
Those are fine jobs, like pride of work. Like that's an amazing work ethic, right? But they already had bachelor's degrees. And it touches my heart because it's like they came to us because they didn't know, like, what are we doing? The 4 years could not help those students get internships that led to jobs, because they're not looking at that at all. Whereas here at the community college, that's our whole focus. So as all of you, hear us to say so many times, I think within a month, I mean, they already had their bachelor's. Within their first month of starting our program, they were both interning at Legal Aid, right? The Community Legal Aid of Orange County now, whatever their new name is. And, working part-time. And then within like a month of that, they hired them part-time. So now they're getting paid $15 an hour. Instead of being at 7-Eleven, they're getting paid now in a field they're interested in. That's really academically challenging and interesting to them. And in short order, they're working full-time in a field they want to be in. So, if you already have that bachelor's, if you, really are that driven student, you're just going to excel very quickly. But we know that those students are out there, people who are like, I really want to go to law school, but I never knew who to talk to, or I couldn't find any mentors, or I don't even know what a law firm looks like. You know what I mean? and I'm too scared. I'm really nervous. I don't know if I can do this. And what do I wear? You know, so I think that's where we come in with our program and can really give you some great experience and mentors and to see different things, you know. And you don't have to go to law school if you do the Pathway to Law School certificate, but it is nice that it'll show on your transcript. So I've had a student who is moved to Georgia, and you know what? You're right. Georgia doesn't have this program, and she was applying to UGA Law School. So this may not, you know, they don't have this specific program, but I still believe that saying earned Pathway to Law School certificate on her transcript will speak to her preparation, to her focus, her drive, you know, and it's something that you can talk about, right, in an interview or on a personal statement. And you can really talk about that internship that, you know, was, you know, 16 weeks long and maybe turned into a job, maybe turned into a second semester internship opportunity. So I don't know, any questions? I'm just excited. And we have so many exciting things going on, but I don't want to say anything because we have to wait till we hear from the state on all the new catalog. But
Kristen, I do have a question, and it's about, somebody mentioned it earlier, having an associate, paralegal associate degree. And then on top of that, having a CJ along that you can also get here at SAC. How much more valuable does that make you to someone if like, say, Jessica wanted to get into a criminal attorney firm? Would that be more helpful to walk in with something like that? And how much more does it take once you've got your associate, because just about ready to graduate, this is my last semester, how many more courses would I have to take to get a CJ?
So I, you know, a little bit like I'm not the CJ person, you know,
Okay.
and I think it just depends what your focus is. Like if you're already getting your paralegal associates, and maybe this is more Kai's area, I don't know if it would matter to a criminal defense firm or the, you know, prosecutor's office, the DA's office, or the PD's office. If you have that CJ background, it might give you a little advantage, but they might really just care about your paralegal skills. If you know, want to go into the FBI or something, I mean, certainly, and this is the thing, in government employment, every degree you have bumps you up a pay scale, right? So having the associates is better than a certificate. Having a bachelor's is better than an associate's, right? For the pay scale and government, right? Long term. So anything you can do for that. But I don't know if like the CJ degree, I don't
Really
know.
helps out.
I think it's kind of sixes. It's just what speaks to you and your focus. I mean, if you know criminal law is your thing, then I mean, you're certainly going to know a lot more about criminal law than someone that doesn't have a CJ. For law school, it really wouldn't matter at all. Law school will take people from every major, you know, imaginable. So it might just be the question of like, what's your personal focus? You know, and sometimes for transfer. So there is this kind of weird thing that happens in our system, right? I don't know how many of you have heard of the associate degrees for transfer. So paralegal, and this is strictly with the Cal State systems, and I guess the UCs as well, but paralegal, because it's kind of career focused, right now in this state, there isn't a bachelor's degree offered at the UCs or the Cal States. Now, in other states, they have bachelor's degrees. But in our state system, because they kind of viewed it as career, and this may be changing, they didn't really offer a bachelor's degree at the Cal States or the UCs. So I am in a meeting. Hold on. Okay, this is my life too. It's like I'm my kids coming in. Like, go talk
Real
to Dad.
life.
I know. It was
Tell
so
your
bad.
husband you go in the other room.
I was like, come on, Daddy. But at any rate, I'm like, help, send help. This morning too, during my morning class, they were just bickering, like two old ladies, like an old man and an old lady. And then they were fighting over math and over a drone. I was like, help me. But at any rate, here, let me get back to this. So paralegal, there isn't a set bachelor's degree that you can transfer into. And if you're trying to transfer to Cal States or UCs, and some of you, if you're still trying to get that bachelor's, may have talked to counselors about this. They really want you to have a set program to transfer into, because it's kind of like pulling your car into a certain spot. They want to have you have one of those associate degrees that will directly transfer to the Cal State, because it makes it easier for you to transfer. But you're like, but I want to do paralegal. great, but I also want to get a bachelor's degree. So then you kind of get in this like weird little spot of like, I want the bachelor's, but I definitely want paralegal. And so you end up doing two. You do paralegal and then something that easily transfers to the Cal State. And it took me about, honestly, Rick, probably 10 years to finally understand this, that there was, and this is like a very weird systems problem that students really don't have anything to do with. So in our program, we are hoping in the fall to have that new law associate degree for transfer, but we have to wait to hear from the state. We've done our work to offer you guys. So we suspect when that happens, we'll have a lot of students do paralegal associates and then double dip because it'll be basically the same, and then earn the law associate degree for transfer as well. So that way, you don't have to worry, because what happens is, and maybe some of you, I don't know if any of you have already been through this, but you do your ed plan, you get your paralegal associates, and then they go, oh, by the way, since you want to transfer, now you got to figure out all these other extra classes because you have to transfer as an English major or as a history major, and it's like a hot mess. So, it's not any of our fault, it was just sort of like the way the system was designed. And it's possible they'll develop a paralegal degree and, maybe something at the 4 years. There are private schools that offer a paralegal degree in this state, bachelor's, but that can be very expensive. And certainly in other states, they all have paralegal bachelors. But that's just sort of how our system happens. So that's why we have a lot of students who end up doing like CJ and paralegal, because they're pretty close and you don't have to do too many extra classes. But then you can transfer pretty easily to Cal State Fullerton, get that bachelor's, and kind of, be set for that really great career with like the great salary. And that was a long answer.
Well, I was thinking to respond.
Great answer. Thank you.
Tom, to respond to you a little bit also, if your goal is to get a job soon, I think an internship in the area that you would like to try to get into would have a lot more value than the second AA degree.
Got it.
And so you saw Kim at the beginning, and she has seen openings coming back in legal aid. The courts are starting to open back up, especially in the criminal area right now, because think about it, they've put a moratorium on jury trials for the last month, and that's going to take the forerun, when the defense attorneys wake up and go, hey, if I don't waive time, my client won't get a speedy trial. And, so all of a sudden everybody's going to be, we're anticipating to seeing a big influx there. So, if I would talk to her about over the summer, we do have a class that's in the schedule, whether, all we need is one student, because it's not one where you have to have minimum number of students. It's a placement thing. And definitely in the fall, we have the internship classes in the schedule.
Yeah, I did some legal aid, and I really like to get back in there. I think that's what I'm going to do, is follow up with Fernanda and see if it's possible, see if they have openings over there.
Well, talk to Kim. She's got the connections.
Sidetrack. Yeah, she's got the real good connection.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody have any questions of anybody?
Me.
Okay.
Great panel. It's a great panel. Thank you.
Well, thank you. These are the people I get to work with, Tom. So you see why my job is so.
Yeah, you lucky guy. I think I ran into a friend of Professor Robinson's over at Coastline Civil Litigation, Stephen Barnes. He speaks well of you. He knows you pretty well.
I love Steve. He's like good people, and besides being nearby, but he's like my conference buddy when we go to these national conferences. Yeah, so I love Steve, and he's a great guy, and they have a great program over there.
Yeah, they do. Not as good as SAC though.
Of course not.
No, we're totally better. We're not competitive at all, but Steve is great. No, but it's a good network, and Kai probably knows Steve too. I mean, we all, we do all kind of work together, and it's just good people. Yeah, and Steve is good people. So.
Yes, he is.
I've got him tomorrow night. I've got to go to another class. So is that pretty much it?
Yeah. We're just here to my speakers have spoken, and if anybody has questions or want to talk to each other for a minute, that's fine. And I just want to say I really appreciate everybody coming in and participating with me today. And
You're welcome.
we may see more of these types of activities in the future, even when we get back to the normal again, if that ever happens.
What do you think this fall is looking like, Professor Manzano? Do you think we'll still be online, or you think?
Well,
we'll be back in
I
class?
haven't contacted you yet about the fall schedule, but I'll tell you that your classes are scheduled. We're looking at them though as still remote instruction. And what I was planning for your intro class, because of, I think it's pretty hard to stay on Zoom for what that class is at 6 hours on Saturdays, the 100.
Wow.
I was giving you 3 hours of Zoom time and 3 hours of online, and all we need to do is get your silver certificate finished.
Okay.
Okay. She's online certified except for one little assignment to be turned in. She got busy, you know.
Yeah.
Work sometimes gets in the way, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I'm going over to Professor Smith's class. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this time.
Okay. Well, thank
All
you,
right,
Tom,
thank
for
you.
coming. And
And
keep up
Professor
the good
Williamson,
work.
I'll follow up with you.
All right. Take care.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Professor Manzano and or Kai, you mentioned the tech conference this Saturday, and there's going to be a link in our inbox. I don't use my SAC inbox very much, so.
That's not what I'll be using.
Okay.
You're in
297.
297, so I'll definitely put it in there because I invited the students from 100 and from 121 and 101. Yes, I was just waiting for her today, probably 15 minutes before we started. I got the email that has the information, so I'll be posting it in the next day or two.
Great.
Yeah. Me
You
I
guys
will
just move
share.
from the bottom corner of the screen to over here now.
Sorry, I'm just like, why am I still sharing the screen as I'm like working off my upload?
I like you guys. Where'd you get that background on? Those are real books?
Mine
Oh,
are
yeah.
fake.
Yes.
You gotta tell me about that.
Oh, my arm
I
just-
have like a I
Oh,
bought like
man,
a $30 green
that.
screen.
Send it. Tell me how to do that. I want that.
I'll send you the link. It's
Okay.
in the room. You can put any background in. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's being recorded, Kristen. It's being recorded, Kristen.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my god.
All right, well, I'm going to
Yeah.
bow out. Thanks, everybody. It was nice.
Thank you.
so much.
I see.
Robinson and
Well,
Professor
thank
you didn't
Manzano.
show us yourself, but okay. Nice being here, Michelle.
Bye.
Thank you for everything. I appreciate it.
No problem.
That's good.
Please.
So Kai, if you go to like where the video option where it says like microphone and then it says stop video, you know,
Mhm.
there's like a little up arrow and then it
Yeah, I
says
see
choose
that,
digital
but it doesn't give me all those options. I don't know.
I'm gonna
I
go
just
ahead and
you have
stop
to add the
video.
photos.